This is Ruth Ann again. Welcome to my channel. This is going to be part 1 of my October 2021 perfume haul video. I have 6 fragrances for this first one, and then I'll have even more for part 2. I hopefully can get this done in 2 parts and won't have to go into 3. But anyway, maybe if I don't talk so much, I can get this all done. My first fragrance is Charlie Blue. Okay, so obviously I'm a big fan of this fragrance, and so I bought a 3-pack, and I got these 3 for, I want to say, a little over $20. Man, that is just dirt cheap. I bought this on eBay, and I just absolutely love this fragrance. Now, I struggle with this a bit because my husband doesn't care for it very much. He says that it has kind of a moldy quality to it, and I hesitate to even say that because it's actually true. So the primary note here with Charlie Blue is oak moss. Now, this is a bit of a slightly dirty oak moss. So this perfume is musk, amber, vanilla, oak moss, and then it's blended with a whole bunch of florals. And you don't pick out any floral in particular because it's really well blended, and it's all kind of in the background. This is oak moss from beginning to end. It's very outdoorsy. It's very rustic. It's very rough and tumble. This was the kind of fragrance that was very popular in the early 70s. This was produced by Revlon at the same time as the original Charlie in 1973. And you have to remember, back in the early 70s, I was just a small child. I was not into this sort of thing when I was that little, but the women of that age loved these really strong, earthy fragrances. This is coming out of the 60s where heavy, dirty patchoulis were all the rage. So if you kind of think of this perfume in the context in which it was released, it's easier to understand. And I often have talked about this on my channel. For me, this is extremely nostalgic. It reminds me a lot of childhood. Back when I would go over to my friends' houses, there was children in every home in my neighborhood, and we spent all our times outdoors. And I would be going over to my friends' houses to eat over, sleep over, play. And you would walk in the house, and I'm not kidding, you would smell Charlie. All the mothers wore it. It was constantly on TV. It was the most popular perfume of the age, and all of the moms wore it. And the funny thing is all the mothers smoked. And so Charlie was really good at covering up cigarette smoke. So whenever I spray this, it's almost like I smell cigarette smoke along with it. But honestly, I don't think anyone else does. It's just more in my memory. So anyway, this does last a good 10 plus hours. It's very inexpensive. Of course, it's not for everybody because you really need to like a dirty, rough oak moss. But I love it. Because it is inexpensive, I encourage you to give it a try if you are adventurous. And I'm not the only one who likes this because it still sells like crazy. So anyway, this is the first one in my haul, and now I should be good for at least a couple years. So I'm going to move on to the next one. Alright, so this one is brand new to me. This is Mackie. Now, if you've ever seen an 80s box, an 80s fragrance, this is it, right? Alright, so I'm just going to open it up. This one had come recommended to me many times in the comments on my videos because I like vintage perfumes. And this is a really classic 1990s amber floral. This one was released in 1991. It's classified as an amber floral. It's stunningly beautiful. It's very classic. It's very perfumey perfume. It's a real peach dominant fragrance. In the mid, it has ylang ylang. It also is very strong in tuberose. Has other florals, orange blossom, honeysuckle. I don't really pick either of those out specifically. In the base we have amber, sandalwood, musk, and other notes. I just didn't quite write them down. It's one of those complex kitchen sink kind of fragrances. But I would say when I've worn this, it's peach is the predominant note in the opening, and then it's got a warm, creamy tuberose. If you like Giorgio by Beverly Hills, Volupte by Oscar de la Renta, it's very much like those fragrances. I wouldn't say they're dupes, but they're in the same genre of perfume. So if you like those, you will like this as well. It's a great value, lasts a good 6 to 8 hours. It's actually a really pretty bottle, don't you think? I mean, I really like it. And I'm glad that I have it, and I will definitely enjoy it. I'm really, really tired of a lot of these modern, newer perfumes that just don't last, and everything kind of smells the same. And this sort of thing is a beautiful addition to the collection, to have just something unique so you don't smell like everybody else. And then I'd say it's also a wonderful thing that these aren't expensive. There are so many great perfumes out there that are not expensive that I think are underloved and underappreciated, and this is one of them. So if you were one of the ones that suggested this to me, thank you, and I will definitely be enjoying this this fall and winter. Next up, let's see. Oh, okay. This is Vanilla Musk by Coty. Now, Coty fragrances, of course, are simplistic, budget kind of perfumes. You can't expect anything really extraordinary with these, but I love vanilla and I love musk, so I figured, and this was inexpensive, I figured this was going to be an easy perfume to like, and of course that is the case. It's a creamy, powdery amber vanilla. It was released in 1994. It's got a real powdery, creamy vanilla, like I said, with a warm, musky base. Officially, the top notes are, I'm sorry, I just have a list of notes. I didn't list them down as top, mid, base. So we have vanilla, musk, sandalwood, and cedar. This only performs maybe 4 hours max. It's a very affordable vanilla if you are into vanillas. Keep in mind it's a little powdery, and when I sprayed this, I would say there's a bit of a hint of butterscotch, almost like those butterscotch candies, but that's just a hint of that. Like, I would wear a perfume that smelled like butterscotch candies because I love that scent, but I'd say there was a bit of a hint of that in here. It's nice. It's nice. It's nothing groundbreaking, but it's nice. All right, next up, I have, all right, this one was recommended also by a viewer, and if you are watching this, thank you. I don't have your name. I apologize for that. But this is by Oriflame. This is, from what I understand, a Swedish company that is something like Avon in America. This is called Amber Elixir. When I looked this up on Fragrantica, there were several reviewers who said that this was their favorite. Many people said that this was their favorite Oriflame fragrance. So I feel fortunate to have it. Now, this took forever to ship to me from Eastern Europe. So anyway, but it's very inexpensive, despite the fact that it was long shipping. I think I paid under $20 for this, and that included shipping. The only, like I said, drawback was that it took forever to get here. This was released in 2009, is officially classified as an amber perfume. Top notes include mandarin orange, black currant, and grape. I thought that was very interesting. In the mid, there's almond, heliotrope, peony, and in the base, amber, sandalwood, and musk. My impression is that this is a simple, sweet amber. There's a bit of a creamy quality to it. I don't pick up the orange or the currant or the grapes. I think those kind of blend together to kind of give a fruity quality and a little bit of sweetness to the amber, but I don't pick out anything in particular. What I really hoped for was a more noticeable almond. And the reviewers on Fragrantica had said that they really enjoyed the almond, and I was disappointed that I didn't get more of that. It's a very affordable, easy wear, non-offensive, mass-appealing amber. It has been compared to Dior Hypnotic Poison, and by some called a dupe. I can't even speak to that because I have not smelled Dior Hypnotic Poison. I used to wear Dior Poison back in the 80s, 90s when it first came out, the original Poison, and of course that's not Hypnotic Poison, so I can't compare them. But anyway, it's very nice, and there's absolutely nothing offensive about it, and I'm glad to add this to my collection. Next up, I have, this is one that has been on my list for years, and I'm grateful to have finally picked it up. This is Prince Matchabelli Windsong. I mean, I could go on and on about being a child in the 70s and seeing endless commercials for this. You know, before I went to school, daytime TV, when my mom would watch soap operas, I want to say every other commercial was for Charlie, and the other commercial that it alternated with was Windsong. And I'm not even going to try to sing the song because it's Windsong stays on my mind. But you can see that on YouTube if you want to experience those commercials. They're epic. So anyway, here's finally my first bottle of Windsong. The bottles used to look like this crown. They used to be shaped like that, and now, of course, the modern formulation looks like this. This was the kind of fragrance that my grandmother's generation wore. So my mother, you know, would have thought of this as a dated fragrance, and my mother is now in her 80s. So this one was released by Prince Machabelli. In 1953, it is classified as a floral fragrance. This is a real aldehydic complex floral. Even though aldehydes are not listed in the notes, it definitely comes off as an aldehydic floral. It's very complex. Top notes: coriander, tarragon, orange leaf, neroli, mandarin orange, bergamot, and lemon. In the mid is carnation, and that is the #1 note in this fragrance. And then we also have clove, rose, ylang ylang, Brazilian rosewood, orris root, jasmine. In the base, sandalwood, cedar, musk, benzoin, and amber. There's a lot going on there. What I would say is, you know, if you've ever been in a flower shop and you've gone into the cooler and you get this blast of refrigerated flowers, long stem flowers. So it's not just the petals, but you also get the stems and the leaves. Okay, so what I would say is if you had a whole big walk-in refrigerator in a flower shop, but primarily what you had in there was carnation. That's the biggest note in here. It reminds me of that. There's a lot more going on, like I said, but that is the #1 impression. It's mildly soapy, it's complex, it changes from top to base to dry down. It is slightly green, slightly herbally, with the clove and the tarragon and the coriander. It makes it very unique. It's timeless. If I were going to use 2 words to describe this, I mean, I could go on, and I just don't want to take up that much of your time, but it's a timeless treasure. There's nothing fruity in here. There's nothing sweet in here. It's an aromatic, woody floral, and it's the kind of fragrance that can help you to really be transported back to another time, to your grandmother, your great-grandmother's youth. You know, there's nothing to look down on those women for. It's because of them that we are here. And I really want to encourage you not to look back on our previous generations with disdain or disgust. Oh, some grandma perfume, some dated, dusty. No, this is beautiful, and it's beautiful because those women were beautiful. And we're only here, and we should, because of them, and we should be thankful to them. And so I appreciate this perfume because of that, not just because of the perfume itself, but because of all the beautiful women who came before me who appreciated it and enjoyed it. And I am very honored to be able to wear this and other perfumes like it. And if nothing else, this channel, I try to promote a love for the classics. And okay, with that diatribe, I'm sure that came across. I would like to, in the future, after I've been wearing this a while, maybe come out with a solo review of Windsong. But that's for the future. I really haven't been able to wear it enough to give it a full review. But it's budget friendly, and if you have some courage, give this one a try. I recommend it. Then I have one left. All right, this is Alyssa Ashley CocoVanilla. Now, in my last Empties video, I had covered Alyssa Ashley Vanilla. This is CocoVanilla. So I bought this because I enjoyed the vanilla so much. And this is supposed to be a coconutty, summery, sunscreeny, beachy kind of version of the vanilla. Now, I've got to say, unfortunately, I was disappointed by this. Typically, I'm not disappointed by perfumes too much because I try to be careful about what I buy. But this one, unfortunately, was a disappointment only because it smells really good, performs terribly. This is classified officially as a floral fruity perfume, came out in 2005. This is also a very gourmand fragrance. In the top, we have coconut, vanilla, passion fruit, and lemon. In the mid, tiare flower, heliotrope, and in the base, caramel, sand, not sandalwood, but sand and amber. Boy, doesn't that sound interesting? Sounds like something you'd wear to the beach. I sprayed this. I was disappointed. It's watery. It's weak. I can't even compare this to vanilla. Alyssa Ashley Vanilla is just this warm vanilla bomb. Very gourmand, long-lasting, smells amazing. This is just meh. It's kind of a sweet, sunny coconut vanilla with a touch of sunscreen. But it's just really blah and bland and watered down and weak. So this I will probably save until spring, summer, and I will use it as a room spray, bedding spray. And generally when I have a perfume that I'm really disappointed in, that's what I do with them, as I use them as bedding sprays. And actually that way I get to kind of enjoy the scent without having to wear it. So anyway, that is my haul, or my first part of it. I've got several more perfumes to go through. So I will see. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you on the next one.